I started playing drums when I was 10. That was back in 1980. And then I, got a kit when I was 11. My parents were really supportive and, mental buying me a drum kit. Buying an 11-year-old anything that's remotely loud, I think is pretty bonkers. And I had lessons. I grew up in Shropshire, and I had lessons with a guy called Brian Stone. He did all the Guildhall exams, all the kit exams, which were the very first drum kit exams that sort of appeared in the UK. My first experience of drum tech actually was in 1988. My dad used to drive me down when it was just a little house, 10 Stanley Gardens, and I think it's still there. And it was just literally 4 rooms that Francis had sort of converted into little drum rooms. And I used to come down every sort of couple of weeks in 1988. I was 18, and Francis taught me. And after that I studied music in Manchester, and then I moved back to London because it was either stay in Manchester, and it's a much smaller scene than London. You basically got to wait for someone to die before you can get a gig. It was pretty tough, and I figured that out quite early on. I was like, I'll stay here for a few years, hoping that Dave Hassel or someone croaks it, and I might get a gig, or get myself down to London, which I guess is what all you guys have done, which is the first step into actually making a living from this instrument that we love. You've got to be out there playing and doing it like every minute you can, because it's in the horrible clubs and the dodgy little gigs and the top 40 at O'Neill's and somebody puking on your floor tom. They're the gigs where you actually learn your proper trade for the future, and try and remain focused on those gigs, even though I know they're awful. I've done plenty of them. And it's pretty soul-destroying turning up at a pub, loading your gear in, and just playing to a bunch of idiots, on a Friday night or whatever. But, if you focus, you can really hone your skills on those gigs, I think. And I certainly try to, and like I say, it's paid off for me. They're absolutely not interested in your double bass drum technique or that odd time thing that you've been working on that goes across the bar and comes around 4.5 bars later. And I totally appreciate all that stuff, by the way, but that sort of stuff, they're not really interested in it. They want you to play pocket, they want you to play time, they want it to sound controlled, and they want you to most importantly, to add something to the track dynamically. Like, make this thing that lasts for 3 or 4 minutes, make it actually do something, and bring enthusiasm to the studio. If I put, in a list of things that I think that are important, I think top of the list is communication beyond your playing, because if you might be able to rattle around the drums like it's going out of fashion, but if you can't listen to that guy and try and figure out what he wants you to do, and then be able to tap into the stuff that you've learned and then deliver it, and then see it actually sort of start to happen in the studio, it's pointless. So I think communication is the biggest thing.